Take a hit. Get Erie Rate Lock from Erie Insurance. Gives you a great rate that stays put until you change a car, driver, or your address. Plus, seriously good service. Now that's something to smile about.
Your Erie agent in Uniontown and Ross Traver Township is Sprowls Insurance Group, 724-437-9812, or go to sprowlsinsurance.com.
Erie Rate Lock does not guarantee continued insurance coverage and is not available in all
The
states.
views and opinions presented by the host, guests, or callers on this program do not necessarily represent the positions of WMBS Radio.
Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop, it'll soon be here. It'll be better than before. Yesterday's gone.
Well, thank you, TJ. Welcome to Democratic Hour on WMBS on the 7th day of November, 3 days after election, right, guys?
Yep, 3 days.
3 days.
And 361 days till next election.
We'll be ready. It'll start. One ends, the other one starts. And again, Democratic Hour on WMBS, 590 AM, 101.1 FM. Our telephone number is 724-438-4593. TJ, I'm always in for some music, and you have it. I'm ready to go. Justin was in Pennsylvania voting yesterday. I've seen him here in Fayette County. Oh, there he is.
I have no plans with him this weekend.
Well, you're gonna save him for the Notre Dame game.
He might be there. You saw the pictures.
I've seen him.
I thought you had a picture of me and Justin outside
That's the one and only
WMBS
Justin
sign.
Timberlake. And
Not
again,
yet.
Not yet. And again, let me take his headset off. And again, welcome to Democratic Hour on WMBS. I have Rich and Doc and guys. Countywide, we didn't like the results. I didn't like the results, but I want to personally thank our candidate, Jim Santelli, Matt Lancaster, and Patrick Mahoney for running a good race here in the county. Surprisingly, in my wildest imagination, I never thought 38% of eligible voters. In one way, it's embarrassing, but normally after a presidential election,
low
it's less
20s.
than that.
Yeah.
And like I said, I talked to the staff at the Bureau of Elections today. There was over 7,000 write-ins. And, of course, that's in all 77 precincts. So every precinct is different because you have mayor's race, township supervisors, school boards. So that takes a while. And, of course, the other is the provisional ballots, 331. Or it could be more, but that's what I had written down. So probably next week we'll have a better figure for everybody. All these results are unofficial. And of course, Tuesday morning, about 10 after 7, I get a phone call from one of our committee men. There was a problem in a polling precinct. I told him to go see the judge of elections. I said I will call Mary Beth I'll drive down to the Election Bureau and see what the problem was. And I think, not to rehash, it was in a paper, it was on WMBS, around 8:15. I had a press release that had copies, so I went out to various polling precincts, and then I went out and stopped at various polling precincts. And the reason I'm bringing this up, because our local legislator, and this is her words, right? This was on her Facebook page, Rich?
Yeah, the press release.
Press release. And I'm not going to go into the whole thing, but I'm going to say it says, Representative Charity Grimm Krupa, Republican Fayette County, issued this statement following reports of multiple issues at the polls in Fayette County yesterday. And we highlighted a couple, and I'm not going to read the whole thing. For that reason, what occurred yesterday in Fayette County is offensive, unacceptable, and cannot be shrugged off as a mere technical mistake. Well, Charity, let me say this. I know where I was on Election Day, and I don't know where you were on Election Day, but I'm willing to bet you didn't call the Bureau of Elections. How you find out there was an error, I have no idea. But I know I was in Smithfield, the polling precinct. I talked to the judge of elections. If somebody did come in and they could not vote, they advised them what they needed to do. Nobody was turned away. I went to various, I probably hit another 10 here in the county. But to make a statement, not knowing all the facts, to me is deplorable. And I hope between now, Election Day was Tuesday. I hope that you sometime in the near future go down and see Mary Beth at the Bureau of Elections. And I know this, and I've said this so many times, and Rich, you were involved. When they begin an election, they go through an accuracy testing. They invite both parties, Democrat and Republican.
Check the machines.
Check the machines. If I can't be there, I have to get a statement signed by me who's going to take my place at the polling precincts in the Bureau of Elections. Mary Beth has done this since she's been the head of the Bureau of Elections. But to make out some other, let me see here the other thing. I intend to pursue answers. I will be researching, requesting records, investigating where these errors originated and where they were intentionally acts or negligence oversight. I know this county was prepared. They rectified a problem. It wasn't their problem. It was a state problem. But yet, to make this press release, so when you find all the facts and figures, I want to know if she's going to do another press release.
Yeah. But whether it was technical or a human error, it seems right now people are saying it's a human error, not a technical error.
And just like I indicated, Doc, I went to German Township. I went to Masontown. I went to a couple polling precincts in Uniontown, and I talked to the judge of elections, as I've done in the past. I always thank those individuals. I don't know if the judge of elections are not D's or R's, and I really don't care if they're D's or R's. They could be both D's or two R's. But I go in there and thank them. They're overworked and underpaid. They put in at least 13 hours or more. You figure they get there at 6 o'clock in the morning. By the time they report back to the Bureau of Elections, it's 9 p.m., so they got a long day. But just arbitrarily come out. And the ones I talked to were not turned away. They were told what they needed to do, and they did it. So,
yeah, I mean, even at my voting precinct, I voted about a little bit before 10 o'clock in the morning. And it was right about that time that the issue was raised. And I heard them saying, well, we got to start using the paper books. There's a problem with the electronic book that the state passed down. And I talked to a gentleman. I told him what I knew from talking to you earlier in the morning. And, there seemed no problem. The one guy who wanted to vote, he said, you're eligible. It's like, here's a provisional ballot. Gave him a provisional ballot and voted.
And I think our Commissioner Dunn summed it up.
Yeah. He even got hit. Yeah.
He went to vote early in the morning. There was the issue. He went to the Bureau of Elections. He made a statement. He dotted his I's and crossed his T's and said what went on. So, but again, getting back to Charity, this is why when people see these kind of, especially it's coming from her, being the representative in the county. So again, Charity, I hope you do another press release, but why don't you please get the facts. Yes. Rich, and you being a reporter, you go ahead, Doc.
Well, it's extremely important, and I'm appreciative of you jumped on that threatened problem, not knowing how expansive or how big it might be. And it was so reasonably so important that if Farmer Brown's cow walked into the election bureau, Republicans would leap on that and say there's a freaking Democrat conspiracy like always. So it's in their playbook. They're working up to next year, we're on the new campaign now, up to next year to undermine confidence in the system, which sailed through with nothing more bigger than Farmer Brown's cow walking through the building.
Well, the other thing that came out, too, is, the MAGA conservatives of PA put out on their Facebook saying that now more than ever, here's what we need to get rid of the problems. It says, transparency in our election systems, accountability for those managing voter data, local control at the precinct level, paper ballot verification for every step of the process. I think we have that already.
And they had a backup plan, and it was a state error. And yes, I'm concerned. And yes, Charity, every vote should count.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. I don't have a problem. You have a right to vote. But that's how things...
to jump and run away with, there's obviously a Democrat conspiracy to undermine the accuracy of the election.
Or, Charity, you could have gotten your vehicle, drove down to Bureau of Elections, like I did. And who I talked to. And I went around in various polling precincts and asked the question. They rectified the problem. The They were notified by Mary Beth and her staff what went on. So again, that's something that happened. And but the other thing too, Doc, we talked about this so much, Rich and I and everybody else, the callers, on a retention vote. So we had all three judges, I should say, on a Supreme Court were retained, and the other two judges, and I have them here. Go ahead, Rich, if you want to add something.
Superior Court and...
Yeah, so we had Christine Donahue, Kevin Dougherty, David Weck, Alice Beck-DeBow on Supreme Court, or Superior Court, and Michael Wojak for Commonwealth Court. And they were all retained in those positions, 3 for Supreme Court, 1 from Superior Court, 1 from Commonwealth Court. But also our judge here locally from Washington County, Judge Brandon Newman for Superior Court won statewide, and so did Stella Tessay. So we all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 judges were put back in office.
Yeah. What was somewhat surprising to me is, at least in Fayette County, the retention vote was no. But statewide,
it was overwhelming. And
it was overwhelming, yes.
I think 60-some% to 30-some%. That was, and folks, you can look up, go to Bureau of Elections here, their website. You can look down every voting precinct, every candidate, how the votes were on all 77 precincts. You could go to the state website and you can look up what I just indicated, county by county, how these judges were voted, yes or no. And it's easy to get into, and you can look. But getting back to what Rich and Doc said, interesting, when you look at Westmoreland County, I'm going to go to Washington County first on the judges. They had 19% came out to vote in the primary, but yet there was 42%, almost 43% of eligible voters in Washington County came out to vote, and they in Washington County there are 53,000. I'm rounding these off. Democrats to 72,000 Republicans. So that's a 20,000 voter margin in favor of the Republican Party. Now you go to Westmoreland County. There's 87,000 Democrats, 130,000 Republicans. So you got a disadvantage of 40. There's 43,000 more Republicans. Yet there was no Democrat on the ballot except for the retention, and the 2 candidates I mentioned were running for Superior Court. They lost Superior Court and Commonwealth Court. But Westmoreland County voted to retain all the judges.
The other 5.
And I won't know, and we won't know. Probably next week we'll have a better idea how many Democrats actually voted in our county. Now, our county had, and I have these numbers, a little over 30,000 individuals voted. That comes out to almost 39%. And like I said, Democrats here are around 30,000, Republicans, so we have they have advantage of 11,000. So our candidate, I thought, did quite well. Yeah. First time running against the incumbent. Rich, we said it so many times, every vote counts. And Rich, I know you have a breakdown. What's it come down to?
Yeah, I mean, take, for example, Jim Santilli for Recorder of Deeds. He got 14,303. That's the unofficial count. Marietta got 15,501, which is only a difference of about 1,200. There's 77 precincts. It comes down to 15 votes per precinct.
How many times, Doc, you said call your neighbor, have a neighbor call, and that's how important. Think about it.
The numbers show.
And
the entire donut around Allegheny County, that differential of the Republican registration outstripping us, is just proof in black and white on paper that it takes the Democrats, not 1 or 2, Grandpap and Grandma, I got them to a ride to the polls. You've got to get and have a list and work on it, because we have a new election coming up in only
361 days.
That's a general.
Every active Democrat that was good enough to vote this time needs to get us 10 other people that they know personally and the people that trust them, and make sure, call them, nag them, whatever it takes.
TJ, before you grab that call, I got to mention something. I call him President Pardon, because he pardoned somebody else, right, Doc? And
Two more.
Two more. Now, these two individuals were from Tennessee. They were elected officials in Tennessee. They were investigated when he was first-term president and before he left when Joe Biden took over.
In
2021, in January. There was, as I say, a raid and got some evidence at their residence. And the judge who overseen the case was appointed by Trump, but yet he threw the blame on Biden, right?
Yeah.
Just like he came out after elections when wins in Virginia and Maryland and New York.
Yeah.
And throughout the country, there's other wins for the Democratic Party.
Well, look at the pardon earlier with the Crypto King.
Yeah.
I mean,
Didn't know who he was?
He claimed he didn't even know who he was, and the guy who got pardoned pled guilty to the case, spent 4 months in the clink, helped Trump's family, and he
All
got...
right. We got a couple callers on the line. You guys ready to go? We're going to go. See what we got, T.
All right, here's our first one. Good afternoon. You're on the air. Who are we speaking to?
Jim Santilli, guys.
Hey,
how are
Jim.
you? Hey, I just wanted to. I'm in the middle of something right now. I'm helping my church set up for a banquet for tomorrow night. But I did want to publicly, to those 14,303 voters, I want to publicly thank them and all the supporters that I had through that campaign. It was a rough 10 months. I learned a lot for the first-time candidate. I learned a lot that I should do, and I learned a lot that I shouldn't do. I am still, I happened to run into Rich last night, and I'm still proud of what I did, and my head never went down. I've held my head high, and the comments that I've gotten over the past 3 days is humbling, very humbling, because I made at least another 200 friends, at least, and a lot of followers, and to come up just short, I feel bad for them, but I did my best.
Oh,
and
there's no doubt about it, Jim. You did. You campaigned hard. You did what you had to do, and
clean and truthful on the campaign.
yes.
And the other thing, Jim, I see that you have all your signs down, and it's something else I was going to say. I even took a few down. Actually, I'm going to share this with everybody. This first time I was out late Tuesday night or Wednesday morning, I got stopped by a local police officer. He was concerned why I was along the highway, which I was pretty. He said, "Well," he said, "George, you can at least wait it in the morning." I thought it would be, but no,
Yeah.
Jim. Thank you for what you've done.
I started on Wednesday morning. I did about 3 or 4 hours, and then yesterday, Lisa had to go to work, so I started about 9 o'clock in the morning and picked her up at 3:30 in the afternoon, and I still wasn't finished. And I put roughly 142 miles on my car.
Wow.
Hey,
Just
Jim, let me
yesterday,
ask you
picking them all
this: do you agree that taking them down was a little easier than putting them up?
Well, actually, I told Lisa said the same thing. Physically, yes, but emotionally, no, because emotionally, you're putting them up thinking that you got something to work for, but when you're taking them down, especially in a loss, it was a little tough, and people going by blowing the horn and waving and saying we still got you and this and that.
What makes you feel good, Jim? I went through the same thing last November. But you're right. You met so many good people.
Just to bring it up, Huck, one more comment, it's not negative. It's just a comment, throwing it out there, that the people that put on their posts that, they wish they were a fly on the wall of my house. First of all, you would never get in my house, and secondly, there were no tears shed.
Yeah.
At all. There were no tears shed. I was proud of what I did.
And you should be.
And I'll always be proud of what I did. So take it from there, and I'm not going away. So
there's no doubt in my mind. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you for what you did.
All right. Just one more thing, Jim. Your wife, what a hell of a good partner. She is wonderful.
I couldn't have done it without her.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
And by the way, she's retiring in about 143 days.
In a wake up, we're going to go to that celebration.
and I also have those of you that don't know, Lisa and I are going to be grandparents come May.
Well, congratulations.
So we have enough things going on. So win or lose, I was looking forward to either way. But I'm not going away. I'm going to be there to help you.
Thank
And,
you, Jimmy. Thank you for what you did.
Go Dems.
Go Dems. And that's Jim Santelli. DJ, we have another caller?
We do. Good afternoon. You're on the air. Who we speaking to?
This is Bill. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm not sure who's all with you, George, but
got
good
Doc and
afternoon
Rich.
to you. Okay, I'm Doc and Rich. Good afternoon, you gentlemen.
Hello.
I'm from Washington County, and I know the people came out to vote was unbelievable. Very good turnout, and I do believe the blue wave is on its way. It started Tuesday. I think that they're getting sick and tired of the high school BS in Washington, Harrisburg, or wherever. It doesn't matter. And they need to, basically, they want to change. I'm one of them. I'm a Democrat, obviously, but I tell you what, I am tired of the stuff that's going on. And hopefully when the midterms come up and everybody votes, they'll find out that people are sick and tired of it.
Well, Bill, one thing, too, your hometown resident, Brandon Newman from Washington, right there won. And he'll be in the Superior Court for the next 10 years.
Yeah. Awesome. And you know what, too? The gentleman just called. I think his name was Jim.
Yeah, well, was our candidate for Recorder of Deeds here in the county.
Okay, don't stop. Keep on going. You got to pat yourself on the back. I'll pat him on the back if I ever get you a chance to meet him. They went out. Whoever lost, they're not losers in my book because they took the initiative to run even.
Yeah, they took the high road.
Yeah, and you know what? I guarantee you, I know in my county, there's places that even have people on the ballot for mayors of their towns, and that's pathetic.
Yeah, I'm looking at your results now, Bill. I don't know if you heard the beginning of the broadcast. Washington County came out 42%. In the primary, it was 19%. And
what's that tell you?
And then, of course, the Democrats are outnumbered by 20,000 in Washington County. But like you said, the retention was good for the Democrats throughout the Commonwealth, and we elected two judges to the Superior Court and the Commonwealth Court.
And I think it's going to continue next summer. I got one more thing for you, George, if you don't mind.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, I want to wish you all happy Veterans Day. Thank you for your service,
you're
men
quite
and
welcome.
women. I appreciate it. And tomorrow, I'm down in the Mon Valley and Roscoe area. We have the Veterans Day Parade tomorrow down here. It starts at 12 noon. Lineups at 10:30. I don't know if you know where Stockdale is.
Well, I appreciate it.
I invite you to come down personally, and I'm part of the committee, so I'll be out and about somewhere. But I invite you to come down, and I know Pittsburgh has them, other places
Yeah, we're
have
having
them.
one next week.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, this is awesome because it's our local people, and I can't
What
wait.
time does it start in Roscoe?
It starts in Stockdale.
Oh, okay.
It goes through Roscoe up to Elko.
Okay.
And starts at noon. Lineups at 10. They have a memorial, some kind of service for them at 10. I think it's at 11. But you're invited to come down.
Well, Bill, I appreciate it. And if I can make it, because I'm going to be out here on Five Corners. Our Fayette County Democratic women are having something for the veterans, and I appreciate your calling the show and voting. And that's our listener from Washington County.
Another caller?
We do. Good afternoon. You're on the air. Who we speaking to?
This is John. How you doing, George? How you doing, everyone there?
Good.
This is John. I want to first thank you, George, for your service and all the military veterans out there that you served, which is tomorrow. And second, I see a blue wave coming too. I know that our local candidates may not have won, but they put a really, really good performance up, and I truly think that every one of those candidates have a really good future ahead of them if they stick with politics. I really do. I really think Jim, Matt, and then some of the other ones, I really do believe that these guys came close enough to me that I think they should run for office, and I think they're really good candidates, and I hope they run again.
Yeah, I think some of them will.
I hope so. I really do. And I tell you one other thing I want to bring up is this Trump administration. I don't know if you heard lately that they were trying to block the judge's ruling on the SNAP benefits for people that. I don't know what's wrong with this man. I mean, I hear so many people when these food banks are getting overrun very bad, and I just feel so bad for some of these people, especially these older folks that need this stuff, and some of the people are disabled. I don't know how anyone in this county could not have a heart and see what this man's doing.
Look in the mirror, right?
That's right. That's right.
At the same time, all these people who rely on SNAP benefits, they're suffering. Tuesday night, did you see the big party down at Mar-a-Lago?
Oh, yeah, they didn't have any trouble with that, did they?
Yeah, they had a lot of food they wanted, right?
Yeah, Gatsby.
Oh, yeah.
Gatsby, great guest, yeah.
Unreal.
Hey, I got something funny to tell you. There, my mother-in-law showed me a picture of Trump looked like the Grinch on there for Halloween and for Christmas. And they're exactly right. I don't know how anybody could have a heart to sit there and say that this man's right for doing what he's doing. I just don't know. These food banks are getting overrun, and it's just terrible.
Well, John, we appreciate it. We're going to grab another caller.
Hey, great hearing from you guys. Take care now.
Thank you, John.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Good afternoon. You're on the air. Who are we speaking to?
Hey, guys. It's Matt Lancaster. How are you?
Good.
I wasn't going to let Jim call in and me not. You know what I mean?
Well, you go right ahead, Matt. And again, we think, you probably heard the beginning of the broadcast, what you and Jim and the rest of our candidates throughout the county did. And go right ahead, Matt.
Yeah, I just wanted to also, as Jim said, thank you for all the people who reached out to me after the loss, beforehand, the day of, and still, talking to me and asking me questions and seeing how I'm doing. I even called into Hot Topics before this with you, before you guys came on, talked to Kendall, Bill, and Paul, and so forth, and heard nice things from them as well. For myself, it was an uphill battle, and obviously the Republicans had a great turnout to what I believe probably was to vote no for the judges, but luckily statewide we did win in that. And as you were speaking about Brandon to the man earlier, Brandon Newman's a stand-up person, and I think if people really didn't just look at the RD for him, everybody would have probably voted for him over the other person who wasn't even a practicing lawyer. So it was great to see those. That's what I'm happy about. And then locally, some new people for the Utah School Board, Stacey Brandt and Chris Gearing, and then also John Schoner is now on the
City Council,
which I think would be great too.
Yeah. I mean, that's one thing about Unitown. They had 3 people running for city council, and the 2 Democrats won.
Yeah, and I think Altman ran before, so I was kind of surprised.
Yes, he has.
Yeah, so I was kind of surprised that he didn't get a little bit more than what he did.
Yeah.
I kind of figured that would be John's main opponent. I know Jared Billy from high school.
Yeah.
I know that, a lot of people don't like certain things that had happened, but I think someone was out of his control. So,
yeah.
I was surprised that he did as poorly as he did being an incumbent, but maybe the switching of parties is what made people upset. I'm not sure, but it was a good showing for those of us that we wanted to see win from a standpoint of that lower level with the Democratic Party.
Yeah, Matt, I think you did extraordinarily well. I looked up this morning. Your primary vote was about 7,600, and the election this week you ended up getting what over 13,000. So you almost doubled it.
Yeah,
that's pretty impressive.
I feel good about it. If I look at Brandon Newman and Stella Size numbers, I did like 8,000 better than Brandon and 6,000, 800 better than Brandon, 600 better than Stella, and then those are probably at least your Democrats, I would think.
Right.
So I kept that vote and got another 600 to 800 independent Republicans. So it was nice to see that.
Well, like Rich said, there's 364 days.
361
days, but the primary will be here in May. And, of course, you're going to have up all the state house, half of the Senate here in Pennsylvania, and the governor, lieutenant governor. So it'd be very interesting. And you can rest assured Josh Shapiro and Austin Davis will not forget Fayette County.
I agree, yeah. I mean, I wasn't always as involved as you guys were, but, Shapiro, he makes sure, and so does Austin Davis, to come around and show support for our area.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic, because I don't think enough people do that and realize, hey, Fayette County have voters here that want to go out and vote for these guys.
Well, and again, Matt, if you heard the beginning of the show, and I have it in front of me again, when Charity made that statement about what went on Tuesday, those are the kind of things that stirred me, and just as the chairman of the party, but overall, and all the stuff that went on the last 3 years at the Bureau of Elections and court cases were dismissed, and this is the kind of stuff we don't need in Fayette County or anywhere in Pennsylvania or throughout the country. If you're going to make a statement, check the facts before you make a statement or do a press release.
Yeah. Well, the first thing that I heard whenever I had gone to vote at Manellin School, I was number 7 there, and I did see people using their licenses, but I didn't understand why because the pads were there. Obviously, there was probably some issues that early on.
Right.
But when I got to South Union 1, I had heard about it, and Adam came out, Judge of Elections, and explained the situation, explained what happened. First thing I heard was that it was all Republicans that were getting rejected, but that wasn't the case, as Pat Mahoney's wife was told she was at the wrong precinct. Yeah. So there's a Democrat right there. Right. So obviously it was a hiccup. This type of stuff needs to be figured out at the state level, which, for us, that's not our jurisdiction. But obviously that needs to be handled a little bit better if possible. But I believe in the process, and I thought the Judge of Elections, all the poll workers up at South 81 did a fantastic job the whole day to let us know what was going on, including when the scanner went down for a little bit of time. So